Hello, everyone, and welcome to Twillow Talk. I'm Tanys Coughlan from the Twillow Lifestyle Community, Twillow Lifestyle Academy, and I am joined by my beautiful co-host, Jennifer Jurkofsky.
Hello,
Hey,
hello.
Jen. And we have an awesome guest today, Stéphane Gauthier. So welcome.
Hi, everyone.
It's awesome to see you. And
Awesome.
we will tell you all about what he does in just a moment. Let's take a look at our weather forecast, our space weather, that is. And here we go. We've actually been fairly quiet in the solar flares. We did have a few M-class. We had one this afternoon, one earlier this morning, and one a couple days ago. So, this was yesterday morning, actually. Anyway, so all good. We've been fairly quiet in that front. And we have an ad, which always comes up because I preset. There we go. So we've got Schumann is at 76. So with our baseline of 7.8 hertz, we are quite elevated today. So if you're feeling kind of off, that may be why. That's tons of light coming into the earth. It's happening for us, guys, not to us, although sometimes we wonder how it feels. Jen.
Truth. So we are coming out of the third gate transit, which we talked about last week, difficulty at the beginning. So if you were feeling a bit of that chaos energy, know that we are on the tail end of that. We are moving into gate 27. Gate 27 is the gate of nourishment in the I Ching. This is about caring, and it's about caring for ourselves. And so this is trying to balance the energy of the shadow of selfishness and bringing us to that sit here enlightened state of selflessness through the gift of altruism. This gate is going to get us to really pay attention to if we're listening to ourselves, if we're taking care of ourselves, are we holding space for ourselves, and are we doing it in a way that is still loving and caring and compassionate for all of those around us, right? So the victim states here that we might see ourselves falling into is the self-sacrificing kind of behavior. Are we either giving too much, or are we in that reactive place of self-centered where we're not doing anything for anybody, right? So just notice if those energies are being pulled from you or being pulled up in you during this time, and how can we move into that place of with the gate 27, we're looking at the archetype of the empowered caregiver, right? It's that ability to give from our abundant overflow as opposed to giving from a bucket that's got nothing in it. So take some time to really embrace this energy through self-care. And I mean, what a beautiful thing for us to be stepping into the energy of this week and having Stephane on with us.
It's perfect for this transit, isn't it?
Do.
All about self-care.
Perfect.
And we'll get into that in just a sec. We're just going to say hello to a few of our viewers. So we have Fogo Pogo. Hey, Kaylee.
Hello.
Welcome. Hearts to you too. And we have Living in Radiance.
Hello.
Hey, Catherine. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. We have Hypnocity. Nalani, hi.
Hello.
Happy to have you. And we have Carolina. Hello, hello. Good to see you. And we have Shem. Hey, Shem.
Mm-hmm.
Good to have you. Thanks for joining us. And we have Lauren. Welcome, Lauren. All of these beautiful souls on with us, joining us for this. So we have quite a treat for you today. Stephane, how about you share with us what you do, because it's all about self-care.
Yeah, the spa industry, the wellness. So, hi everyone. My name is Stéphane Gauthier. So I'm from the region of Gatineau, Quebec. So a little French here.
All good.
And so in Europe, they call our profession sauna master. So we do different types of sessions, ceremonies, or rituals inside the saunas, or the saunas, how the Finnish people would say. And the most popular is the Aufguss session, which is German for infusion. So we mostly conduct different types of infusions inside the saunas. And there's different types of also rituals or treatments or ceremonies if it's more like spiritual. A little bit across the world, they have different types of these more connective sessions.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a little bit what I conduct. I started at Nordic doing these sessions. I don't know if some people are familiar with these Ofgus rituals, and it's a little bit how I started these sessions. So now it's a never ending world, because like you have the access to plants and also all the thermotherapy, anything that's has to do with heat, cold, moisture, dry, so it opens up a lot the body, and being more receptive, maybe a little bit more sensitive, maybe going a little bit deeper. So I really like just the sauna rituals, like just with the music, because we'll play different songs sometimes during the Ofgus sessions. So with the aroma, sometimes it can invoke something from the past, maybe something that we're keeping inwards, something that is bothering us, maybe it's talking to us. And that's just the aroma. So you can imagine with the heat, then there's music. So even just those sessions, they seem quite simple. Or for example, the classic Ofgus, it's a little bit how it started, just doing these sessions in the sessions. And it's actually one of my favorites because there's no music. It's really, you're just with yourselves and the aromas and the heat and just being present. So it's very connective. It can go very deep with how less you have. It can go very deep. So even that session, if it's very simple, it's very nice to live and to do, because that's my job. I'm just.
That sounds awesome. I know the ones that we've been to, because we've been to the ones that have the music in them, and I find that sometimes the music is quite lovely, and sometimes it actually, like, I want to go in one direction and it pulls me in a different direction. And so I can see how having the silence with just the scent, and scent is one of the strongest senses to bring back memory and to bring us into that inner world, and so it's quite powerful.
Yes.
Have you had anybody get really emotional in the sauna?
Yeah, it happens quite often. Even sometimes for me, it will be emotional, depending on what I'm living, what I'm holding back, or what I'm maybe ignoring. I don't really know what's going on, but it's completely normal. It's a little bit like just sitting down. Sometimes you would just sit down and close your eyes, and one day could be the best experience, and the next one it can be the hardest, and you're going through hardships. So it's very normal that people feel that, and it's just to have also part of the sauna master. It's all about having or creating the experience. So it's just having also a comfortable and safe space so that people can feel that they can share. It's also that about the sauna community, that people can just share, talk, have fun, laugh, be happy, and be together, like experience it together, and that everyone just feels comfortable, whatever they're going through or living as the experience.
So now we met you at Quebec, Spa, which is where you are currently doing this work. Okay. And I have to say that you hold the energy of the space beautifully. Every time I've been to ones with you, like, you hold the energy amazing. It's just like you just feel the energy that's coming from you within the space. So I just wanted to share that with you because, Jen and I are pretty sensitive. So if we go and somebody's not holding the energy, we would know, right?
Yeah. Well, I think that's why we connected quite nicely after that session, because you felt that maybe in its simplest way, everyone was carried together in a very nice spiritual and more connective with nature experience.
Yeah. Well, and with each other It was like
Yeah.
somehow as you're doing the towel work, which we'll show you a video for those of you that haven't done it, it somehow blended all of the energies beautifully together, you know, so everybody felt comfortable in there, and it seemed to modulate that. I found that anyway. What did you find in your experience, Jen?
Yeah, I do have to say there are times where I've gone into a space, especially when there's a lot of people and feeling into all of that energy, and I kind of go, I'm going to walk right back out of this space right now.
Same.
But I've never had that feeling in the midst of the ceremonies that we've been in with you. And so being able to do that, and it's almost like there's and I don't know if you do anything with this, but that there's a clearing energy that happens to kind of hold that space and to make it kind of a baseline, right? So that you're able to release going into it.
Indeed. Like sometimes even myself, I feel like you're saying about the energies or just a group you enter and you're just like, oof. But it's part of being a sauna master, and it's a learning experience for me too. Like sometimes I'll just have like a few off sessions and there's a lot just going on. Maybe I have something that living in my life, a lot of conversations. And sometimes you just catch yourself that you're just like, wow, why I'm always like just fast forward instead of just like coming back to the now and the present. And I feel the heat when I'm sometimes in the sauna. That's what I'll kind of notice. I go in there and there's already an energy shift for me to like having a anchor or something to remind me like you just need to ground yourselves. So I feel that sometimes just going inside the sauna. So it's a good space to create that because we all need it to come back to the present moment.
And it's very grounding because, of course, you're surrounded by wood. And then you've got, and let's talk a little bit about the elements of things that you bring in, because that's part of it too, right? The essential oils and whatnot, they can all be very grounding. And I think you blend them in a way that sort of takes you through a bit of a scent journey.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly. You can create also, like you said, scents journeys. Like if you want a more grounding experience or a more energizing one that's more meditative, concentrative, maybe to invoke new beginnings, a little bit like Easter. There's different essential oils, plants that will have like these characteristics that is just everywhere in nature. So we definitely use all the elements that is at our disposal. I think everything that's on here on Earth, because we have the rocks, we have the heat. Heat is a source of energy. So either electricity or just fire that you need to heat the space. And then you have the water and the steam, very sacred for the Finnish people again, which they call loili. Very anciently, it meant life force, or there's some speculation that it's very ancient and grounded in that meaning. But nowadays, it just refers to the steam or the network that the steam is being created with the water, the heat, and you have the air, which is also a medium very important in the sauna. So to have those molecules also being transported to evaporate through. And it's very, I love using all those elements in different ways, a little bit like the banya or bad stew, that sometimes I will bring maybe some leaves for some sounds, just the sound of leaves. But the first time I've experienced that, I was like, wow, that really literally took me like instantly.
Yeah. Beautiful. You have another fan. I've gone lots and I've had many with him. Amazing energy, very present, open and loving space for releasing.
Thank you, Sean. Or Shani?
Shane. Yeah. Thanks for joining us, Shane. And we also have Annie. Welcome, Annie.
Yeah, I have to say, being in that energy with the scents as they come through, and then talking more about the movements that you do with the towel and how you bring the air. Right, we're talking about that element of air coming through and that heat as it just kind of washes over you in that moment, and the breath that you have to take. You can't not take it in that moment, and just allowing that to come in, and then the release that comes with that. It's such a cleansing experience if you allow it to be.
Yeah.
Biggest thing, I guess, is to be open to the whole aspect of it, right? All of those things coming through you.
Yeah.
In terms of the elements and stuff. And of course, that's what makes it that spiritual side of it. There's the benefits, physical benefits and all that, but the spiritual side of it, of course, when we have an altar, we have all 4 elements and spirit involved. And in there, you have all 4 elements. So
exactly.
It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So shall we show people a little video about how it works?
Yeah, go for it. And I'll explain a little bit some different aspects of it and why it's important.
Okay. So I'm going to put on the one that we talked about with the towel first. That's on Instagram. So if you'd like to kind of talk about that when we're talking about moving the energy, that's how you're doing it.
Yeah, and that's a little bit more show off, Gus.
Show off, Gus.
So like doing tricks in the saunas with the towel, that's the entertaining part.
Right, that was
the
something
one that
we
all
talked
like
about,
to do.
Right? Yeah.
Right. Sadly, I miss that often because I have my eyes closed.
But I've seen you do these in the archives. And then the other one we have here is this one. You're seeing that? Yes. Okay, good.
So the beginning of that one, there's the most classic movements, a little bit like how Afka started. We just fold the towel a little bit in 2. So the big towel that you saw, we just fold it in 2, and we just do movements, kind of fan movements, just turning around that we call the helicopter. That everyone seems to know when they say the towel thing, or they'll do this, and that's just to move the air around, the steam and the aromas that are being transported by the steam. It just all rises. So breaking those apart while you're moving your towel like this, or even bringing a little bit more circles downwards. And then you have the classic movement, which is the cross, which is now you're bringing the steam down. Like a little bit, you said that you wash, you feel a little bit of heat wash. And then you have more like the show movements. That's a lot of them is just for show, but still you can move the air around. Like you'll see, even if you're just turning the towel or turning with the towel, you're moving the air around or bringing it down or bringing it up. So it's just nice to move those aromas all around the room, all around the sauna. There's different sizes of saunas as well, so maybe you have to move a little bit more from one side to the other to really move that air. So yeah, very show off goes for this one.
I like that term.
But like there's different types of competitions, and one of the most popular is called the Office VMs, and or WM, because it's German, so their W is like V. And these the World Masters show Office. These you'll have a kind of more story to it, and you'll be judged a lot on more your story and your movements and your aromas. So going back to the basics sometimes for those competitions will reap you benefits to have a little bit more points. So maybe you can see like there's a lot of tricks involved in that, but if you're going to be in a session, you really have to move well your aromas. So the most important thing is to distribute the aromas, and bring the heat and those aromas down. Because if you don't do that, you'll lose a lot of points. So that's a very like popular and very deep-rooted competition. Still many tricks, but you're not going to be as judged on the tricks. It's more how your story is also going to be captivating. So going there with also like a theatrical kind of performance, so that people can sit down and it's like, what's going to happen? What happens next? And having that kind of story, maybe a love story or a tragic one or war, can be anything. You want to become the greatest artist. Maybe you do even a life painting, or who knows, right? So that competition is starting for the first time in Canada. Nice. For the qualifiers. But it's been going on for quite some time now. I think it was beginning in 2000s, if I'm not mistaken. And right now it's just grown very much, and worldwide countries are just being added. USA first year also. Mm-hmm. So it's very nice to have that community also together, because we can all learn. Once we're there, you see all those different performances. You'll see even maybe like other performances that are banyas, that are more with the leaves and the plants. And so it's just sharing and conducting all these ceremonies. And then you just go back home and you either practice, you share again, and you just keep on going. The community is so wonderful to be part of.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. I remember one of the first times that we met you had done, I think it was one of the banyas where with the plants and the shaking of I don't remember which it was.
Those maybe oak or birch.
Okay. But it was wonderful, and just the whole experience of it was so unique but beautiful. But I want to go back for a moment, because you're talking about telling the story. And so Are you telling the story, is that through the sense? Is that through the movements? Is it through both? Like, how does that unfold for you?
It's a good question. It's a question I ask myself every time. How can I bring the aromas to my story, or how do I interpret it to the audience? Do I have to speak? Is it going to be narration on the audio? Is it just going to be like me doing gestures and that people can understand? Or so that's a little bit how you're judged as well, how you can mold everything together into an experience that everyone can kind of relate, or being really attracted to a little bit, to being part of it. So, for example, if I just do a simple sauna session, and one that I like to do that's very like more meditative or visualizing, is just going into the forest. So I will speak a little bit about that, just that we're close to the city, but also closer to the forest, and we're slowly leaving behind this city behind us. So it's more about saying like we're going to disconnect from anything that's artificial and a little bit more the dense societies, and we're going to go more towards nature and reconnect with that. And so I like to speak during that, but you could say maybe one word, 3 words, one phrase, or even nothing at all. We're just going to go into forest, and it could be a complete silence or just having forest sounds. So it's really depending on how you want to bring it, and everyone's different. So some people will be better at not saying anything, and maybe it'll be not an even better experience, but for some, they'll even prefer more that experience compared to maybe someone that is doing more of a guided session. Everyone's a little bit different for even your own practice, right? Let's say somebody is meditating. Some people can like guided or following a yoga course, or some will prefer to do yoga by themselves. And so it's a little bit, everyone's different on that part. And the essential oils will definitely help you with the aromas. Like I've said, forest. You like to use sound. So the leaves, the oak, maple in the summer, they'll go and harvest like all these sounds. Or even when if you would start to do like light touching, maybe you'd say something, maybe the forest is trying to shake you aware or to awake, and who knows, right? So these elements can be brought in different ways. Simple session. That's why I like the forest, because the sound just very calm, very grounding smells, and reconnective to nature. They're very powerful. So even like the cedar, right? Cedar here that we have in Canada, very powerful, very grounding. So those I like. As more for the stories, you can use narration in the audio. Maybe like I'm gonna spoiler alert a little bit my story for the competition, but at first I'm gonna enter the sauna, and my dad's will have written a letter for me saying he passed away. That's just the story. And so I just go in there. People will be a little bit intrigued, like what's going on. I'll just have a lantern, and the letter will be narrated on the audio. So that's a little bit how it will be interpreted by how I want people to get into the story. And so it's going to be a little bit more theatrical, less a little bit like the forest one, where maybe I won't talk as much and just let people interpret the sounds of the leaves or the aromas.
There was
I'm hearing dogs. Are those yours, Jen?
they're not mine.
Yeah, there's dogs.
They're not yours this time, Jen?
They're often mine. They're not mine this time.
Okay.
They sound smaller, or at least
I thought so, and I was like,
a bit softer.
interesting.
My guys are like, wow, wow. And
We often have dog
Yeah, I
noises.
have a little Chihuahua, and I used to have a German Shepherd, so he was his barky wood.
yeah.
So the one you're talking about with the branches and stuff, it looks like Kaylee has done that with the birch.
Yeah,
at Nordique.
Birch branches. That's Benoit the Buck. When I sent my biography for the others that are not aware, Benoit came from Switzerland. He's Swiss but lives in Belgium, and he was a consultant that came to Nordique, and he learned a lot. He learned to us a lot of these sessions, like the arboreal that they do at Nordique. It's mostly like he specialized in Latvian Pirts, which is more reconnective with nature. It's very more spiritual for like new beginnings. And just following the cycles, a little bit of Mother Nature. And that's why it's a little bit more connective with nature, with the birch, the sounds, the touch, the light rain, the aromas that are more natural, and with the forest. So that one's the you could do an banya as well, which is more Russian Ukrainian for having a little bit more humidity. So it's not a dry sauna, and you'll bring these leaves. The reason you have more humidity can be way more beneficial with the leaves and everything natural nature that you're bringing inside the sauna. It's going to have a better network to travel through with the droplets of water. So it's very, very beneficial for skin, airways, the aromas benefiting. And Benoit is the one, very expert in Latvian Pirts. And I learned a lot from him when I had my time there. So I'm very recognizable for his teachings.
Beautiful, beautiful. You have another fan in the audience. Betsy. I've seen this professional in the flesh. Wayne Spa.
Yeah.
And she says he's amazing.
Thank you.
So we have a couple of other videos. One's of you preparing.
Yeah.
And
I'll explain what I'm preparing there.
Okay,
very fast example.
Awesome.
Yeah, awesome.
Here we go. Oh, there we go.
So this one is more if you do a herbal session or whatever infusions that you would do that's herbal. This one's a mix of chamomile and cinnamon. Those are other mixes. We have calendula flowers, some rose petals, some lavender, some spruce. And it's just like making a tea at home. So you just filter with a tea bag. We use reusable ones, and or anything that's cloth. And then after 8 to 10 minutes, you just strain. And that's if you would just do an infusion on the stove. So this one, it will be hibiscus. So you can see a little bit, you can use a lot of different plants. And if you're going to use leaves as well, it's a little bit like a tea infusion. You can see all the soap that's being created with the birch because it's very cleansing, has very washing properties. And these are oak leaves. Can move the air around with a fan as well. Sometimes the fan is just a little bit more calm. So if you're going to use sessions with a little bit more of these herbs or plants, it's very calm to use the fan or even the leaves, just moving the air around with the leaves. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one I think is the Ofgus session. So snow or ice, then we drop the essential oils on the ice. So that's the first movement I was saying, just the helicopter, very basic, very necessary. And then the cross, the two hand movements, and a little bit more show, which is fun, but you can still see that it moves the air around a lot.
Mm-hmm. It always amazes me how well you can do that in such a small space, because that sauna is there's not a lot of open space, and they get
exactly. And you can see I don't have a lot of space for that either.
Yeah.
I just did that yesterday. I was like, just to show a little bit what you can do for movements or how we're practicing a little bit just with the towel.
Very cool. So I want to ask, in light of all of this, obviously you've been doing this for some time. What drew you to wanting to do this?
I don't know. I don't know where. I think it's already at the place I was. So when I started massage therapy, I was starting to go more in the wellness profession. I've already done my yoga course before the massage therapy and a little bit more meditation, just to help my daily life, my own share of problems that I wasn't really acknowledging back then or being aware. So it was bringing more awareness to my life and the road that I can travel at the right path. So that was the beginning. And when I was in massage therapy, for me, it was so perfect. When I was at Nordic, I was just in nature, up in the cabins. So I couldn't ask for any better, just to have nice, calm aromas, sounds, doing a nice, still a ritual for healing properties with the massages. And when I was going to the spa, they had these sessions. So immediately I was I remember one of the first infusions, I don't think it was peppermint, but in the first sessions, peppermint was the first essential oil that really like surprised me, because I was like, we've all smelled peppermint, we taste peppermint a lot like nowadays in products, and I was just in that session, and when I smelled it, it hit me like very, very differently. I was like, wow, this is like the most authentic experience I can have with peppermint.
Yeah.
There's probably more that we could, but just the aromas of that and how it was in the sauna, I was like, this is completely a game changer for me. So kind of fell in love right there. I was like, how do I apply?
Awesome.
Yeah.
And you went and got some specialized training in Europe at one point, right?
Yeah. So the first competition I did was the Ofgas VMs, the show Ofgas that I was telling about with the stories and everything. So I just wrote to them. I'm like, hey, how can I participate? And because my country here in Canada, we didn't used to have this competition. We're starting this first year, or our first time is this year. And they said you can go to the playoffs. So the playoffs is every country that are qualifying, not the first position, but the other positions, depending on how many wildcards they can have. They have a second chance to go to the finals. So before they have a playoffs, that all these wildcards go together and they fight a little bit off for these places in the finals. So he's just like, just come over, you'll have your chance. And we're like 16 solos, 16, I think, solo performances. And there was a lot of duos as well. And there's 5 tickets out of those 16s that could make the cut. So when I spoke to the person responsible for that, he was working at that same hotel where they're hosting the competition. So I was like, I want to stay there longer, and I kind of want to work there. And I think at every spa that you go, that they have these sauna rituals and sessions, there's always like a mentor or someone that's like, everyone's looking up to that person. Like there's a lot of champions that are all at these like majestic hotels or spas. So obviously you just learn when you're there. When we were all doing the competition, it was more learning about like the tricks and everything, like the towels. But when I was working there, it was more like about how those sessions work behind the scenes, and learning smoke infusions. So that was really fun.
Awesome. So are you the one that everybody looks up to now? Yeah, because I'm doing this every year.
I would say Jade for the towel waving for sure, and also me. I mean, I think I haven't seen anyone in Canada yet, but we're pretty the top 2 in the.
That's awesome.
But it's evolving so quickly. There's people in Montreal that just started a year ago, starting waving, and I just look at them. I'm like, yo, you're already at the level that I was like. It took me like maybe 4 or 5 years, and I'm on year 7. Like in a few months, they're gonna be as good as me. So these competitions, like the Ofgas VM, that's what's gonna be fun to see all of that. But some people in the industry, that's what they have to realize. It's just not about like the levels and everything. It's just like being content, because there's a lot of people that do look up, but I don't kind of like that, because some people will say, how do I do it as better as you? And I'm like, you don't understand. There's people, and maybe even most in that session, that are going to prefer your ritual, because you have to stay who you are. You have to just do it with what you have, and the more authentic it is, the better people love it. The more you are. Some people will prefer the more basic stuff, and you could do it even better than me for the basic stuff. So
spoken like a true master, I have to say.
Exactly.
I teach Reiki masters. It's all about that, right? About how we learn from our students just as much as we learn from
Exactly.
those that have been doing it for years and years.
Yeah.
And
So
that's
that's
beautiful.
what was always fun also about Norway.
bet.
Because I did like also learn from people that we're kind of looking up to them, right? So it's like you say, it's nice, yes, to look up, but also to reground ourselves, to know that we're very strong and firm ourselves and confident to conduct and be a true sauna master.
Well, and that authenticity that you mentioned, you know, that's so key.
Yeah.
For so many things in life, you know.
And, exactly.
Any practice, for sure, anything like this or energy healing or any, you know, shamanic.
Everyone has their strength, and the more, it's a little bit like with school. Sometimes the curriculum is a little bit hard to follow, but if they would follow their strength, they would evolve so quickly in what they're good at, working with their hands. Or so it's a little bit these sessions too. Everyone has their strength, and just focus on you and how you can make your experience even better.
Absolutely. Beautiful. So we should ask them, do they have any questions for you? Do you guys out there have any questions for Stephane? Yeah. I've always said that with Reiki too. Not everyone's going to jive with everyone. That's why we can all find our place and share.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And it's so important to have different ways of doing it, as you said. There's going to be, you know, people who like just the sense and the quiet, and right. And then I appreciate the mixture of different things. There was one that you did that was very different than anything I had experienced from you or from anybody else there, where you actually had done the full guided meditation through the practice. And I remember thinking that was really different, but still very much appreciated the journey that you gave to us in that experience.
Yeah, so. I agree. I enjoyed that one too. Yeah. Although I haven't had one at any of them that I did not enjoy, I don't think. I think maybe there's one over the years that I kind of thought, oh, that music was kind of heavy or something, but that was probably my mood for the day. You know, it probably had nothing to do with the person doing it.
Yeah, well, and there have been a couple times too where I've gone and the mixture of the scents would not necessarily be things that I would think to put together or that I would necessarily choose for myself, but then going through it and seeing how that felt and having the experience of them blended and going, okay, it was quite powerful. So
it can invoke or speak to you a little bit. Sometimes I don't know. I think it's Rumi also. When I see that it was Rumi. The cure for pain is in the pain. So sometimes for me, when I started to be like, I don't really eat meat nowadays. So for me, I was really hard-headed with like eating tomatoes or green peas or stuff like that. But like when I started to be vegetarian and more open-minded, I was like, maybe they're speaking to me, you know? So it's a little bit like the aroma is a little bit the same, like star anise, for example. A lot of people don't like star anise or geranium, but I'm always like, don't hate. I like, just live it, experience it. Like it speaks to you, because for me, in my experience, when I'm like, ugh, I like, you know, you have that train of thought, maybe like, I don't like this, or I'm just like, oh yeah, it's true. I need to come back to the present moment, you know, like I need to come back to like, well, I shouldn't go like being intrusively continuing in that train of thoughts. I should just like come back to the present moment and just fully appreciate and experience this like unique aroma, even if I don't like it, or the green peas. And eventually you kind of like build not a tolerance, but more equanimity, like a balanced state of mind, even in that chaos or like thing you're living. So it's always a good experience. Sometimes even if it's like uncontrollably hot or an aroma that you don't like.
Yeah. Yeah, I can have one I don't like. It's interesting though. You say star anise. We love it, and I remember like I cut it up for the kids, and they come home and like, my friends think I'm eating onions, but but I do. There is some very strong scents and flavors, for that matter, that we can connect with, and it is really fascinating to see what they bring up in us, especially when it's the first time experiencing them.
It's true. Yeah. And we do have a question for you. Favorite scent? Separate from stories. You have to pick a scent.
My favorite, and I'm thinking it will always stay my favorite, because when I went to the health food store, Boîte à Grains here in Gatineau, they have Divine Essence, which I think they're a very good company for the essential oils that are just readily available to buy over the counter instead of like online. Mm-hmm. First time I bought that because I heard a lot about it and I was just like very intrigued. But sandalwood. So as soon as I smelled sandalwood, I was like, I think I'm gonna wear this like every day on me, because I have like I'll show you, like it's little wooden piece necklace I do, like just a little heart made of wood. So I dropped like these essential oils on it, so just kind of like more natural aromas. So I was like, I think I'm just gonna put sandalwood, and that's my aroma, because I love it. So I always have a little bottle of sandalwood, and it's just my favorite.
Awesome.
I have other favorites, but sandalwood is really my top number one.
Jen, what's yours?
I don't know if I could pick just one. I think this is where I have to go. Dawn, which one is this one? So
her partner does a lot of herbal work.
The resins.
Oh yeah.
But of course, there's no label on them. But there's like some copals, some frankincense, and there's a dragon's blood one that is just amazing. And so I think that those are kind of my go-tos, or my main
copal, they have essential oil, frankincense.
Yeah, copal, I do love the frankincense too.
I love it.
Yeah. And then for me, it's kind of funny, because for me, I did a lot of networking when I first started my businesses. And so I would also always have peppermint oil. Yeah. Because, those of the women of a certain age, we have these hot flashes. And so they would always cool me down. Right. So I had a roller ball in my purse all the time. So I actually got known as the peppermint lady. And people would come and hug me just to smell the peppermint. So it worked out very well for me.
So is that your favorite, or do you have a favorite one?
Well, I like that one because it gets hugs, but and it cools me off. But I also like, I have to say, I always like rose. Rose for me. Oh, yes. Yeah. So when I'm feeling really heavy, that's the one that I pull up, is rose.
Which I've heard a very high frequency.
320 hertz. Yeah. Megahertz. Yeah. So it really helps to boost. Definitely. But when I was playing with the essential oils first, I remember we did a little experiment, and we put clary sage and frankincense, a blend on the third eye and on the crown. And it was like, wow. Yeah, it was fun. You got to try that one. If you haven't tried it yet.
No, I will try it. Yeah, I'm very intrigued
Yeah,
because just burning sage, it's immediate, like you say, effect. So
yeah, it's a fun one. It was clary
Mhm.
sage and frankincense.
Okay, we'll try that.
Catherine likes Frankie too. Awesome.
Mm.
And she can't remember the specific name. It's a divine flower of some sort at
There's
Nordique.
Golden Everlasting, maybe.
Maybe. I have not.
Golden Everlasting is very good. It's like candy.
Oh.
Gonna have to get one of those. Yes. Okay, that's the one. Yeah. She's confirming. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, it's fascinating too, the scents that bring us back, right? Because you're talking about rose, and rose was the scent that my mother wore all the time. There was never another scent. It was always rose.
Yeah.
So the moment that I smell it, I'm brought back to
Yeah.
Childhood.
Yeah, exactly. And
it's so the other thing I love about essential oils is when you actually charge them in ceremony, it totally like shifts the energy of it into a higher frequency. So I always keep this one beside me. This was one that was created. So this has like rose oil. It's not green and pink. That's the bottle. But here, smell. So it has rose oil and frankincense and I don't even remember what else we put in because it was very like divinely guided at the time.
Yeah.
We were in ceremony
So
and I had brought frequency. A bunch and I was just kind of adding, but rose was the primary one. And when they all blended and then we were adding energy to it. So we were like channeling energy into the oil and the blend that came out, it was amazing. It was amazing. So it's really, when you add that energy to it as well, it just makes a huge difference. Yeah.
Changes everything.
It does. Oh, okay. Yeah. Very good.
Yeah, clary sage, they say, for women is really good.
Very good.
Menstruation.
Add that to my peppermint.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That might be part of why there's the sage is here and the frankincense is here, and you just go with it.
Yeah, you're like, oh, what do I feel like? And you know what you're supposed to be using.
And then you need giant fan.
What was that, Stephane?
There's like scrubs you can do also, like either cleaning with salt or just oil, just leaving plants soaked in oil and then using that just to rub over your body. Can be very cleansing, especially in the sauna. Your pores are really open, absorbs a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's wow, just wonderful.
We often end our day at Quebec with the salt, the steam bath and the salt scrub before we go. Yeah. Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Amazing. Okay, when are we going to visit Stephane again, Jen?
We'll need to plan that.
Everyone can join us.
We'll have a full spa day, guys. Because this is like a lot of you.
Fingers crossed on banya sessions and other rituals. So more with the nature and leaves.
So you did that one time. Do you do those fairly regularly, or is it not an often?
The
banya.
The banya, we don't do it at Koina yet. We would like to. Treatments as well, which is more of a private session, so you have more time to be in contact with the leaves and nature and the experience. And because it's always full, as you probably know, at Koina, these sessions. So it's always different from having 30 people compared to maybe 5 or 4 people.
Yeah.
The experience is quite different. But with the badstu, which is more Norwegian roots, this one can vary from session to session. Can vary. The most important thing is just a little bit longer, so it's very cleansing session. So you can do just tea infusions, just leaves, or just smokes, or just essential oils, and it's just a little bit more cleansing. So you're really like focus on the health benefits and the benefits of the conducting like a more spiritual session, even if it's very simple. So for those, we can also bring a little bit leaves, which I do sometimes. Like this summer, I will go harvest a little bit more, so just a little bit more. But when I use them in the sessions, since we don't have any banyas or anything that we kind of touch with the leaves, it's more going to be about the water, so light rain, doing an infusion with the leaves and using that water, and just a little bit more the sounds. So sometime, like I just heard a song from Profil, The Messenger of Love. And as soon as I heard it, with the chanting and everything, I was like, this is the perfect like song for doing the leaves. So every time I hear a song that is like, you could really go with the leaves and having that more spiritual sound, I always I'm hooked on that on those songs, because I like the leaves. Just the sound changes all your whole experience a little bit. It really grounds you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were at a sound bath a couple of weeks ago, and she used leaves as part of the sound bath.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's
it was
good.
it was great.
Yeah, and they have these the number of tools they have now. It's you could explore all day and still haven't discovered everything, but they have like these ocean big sticks, kind of.
Oh yeah, rain sticks and stuff.
Yeah, rain and waves, and the drums that also rain a little bit. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Awesome. But looks like Kaylee will be there on the 29th, so you'll probably see her there.
I think I have the schedule.
Let you know if you can go say hi or not.
Yeah, exactly. Well, while you're checking that, let's have Jen do our home play.
Oh, yes. Let's do home play.
We do home play, so instead of calling it homework,
okay, yeah,
we call it home play, and we
Yeah, so it's Seeds from the Sacred Feminine.
Yep.
That's our home play. Let's see what we've got. All right. I don't know. Gaze at the moon keeps coming out, even though we've already gotten that one. So I think we still need to be gazing at the moon, guys. Here we go.
Well, it's Easter, or it was Easter yesterday. Very important with the moon.
All right. Well, 2 came out.
We have lots of homework, folks.
We got lots of homework.
Home
lots
play.
And lots. All right. But I mean, again, this stuff is so fitting. Okay, so hug somebody.
Oh,
right. That
peppermint.
And honor your body. Again, you can't make this stuff up. So.
Wow.
All right. So let's start with hug somebody. Here we go, guys. All right. Are you keeping others at arm's length, grandchild? It might be time to relax your guard a little. All beings are connected through the great circle of life and capable of great love. Let this love in. You are meant to live in community so you can express this love to others. Remember your sacred lineage and reach out to your relations. They need your love as much as you need theirs. Let them in. Your arms are made for enfolding life. When infused with love in your heart, your arms can make a sacred circle. Allow someone into the sacred circle that only you can create. You are safe, grandchild. Be strong in yourself and know your boundaries, while being gentle with the world. It's okay to touch someone. Embrace those who will understand the honor you have bestowed upon them. Are you afraid to share your physical space? Remember, it is yours to share. You are a powerful being. When you wrap your arms around someone with love in your heart, you are declaring yourself a part of creation. Embrace the world. Embrace yourself.
Yeah, I'm a big hug advocate. I think it is important.
Hugs are so important.
Incredibly healing.
And we've got honor your body. Have you been dishonoring your physical body? It is time to stop. Your spiritual being dwells in a sacred vessel designed by the Creator. Never forget the miracle you are. An extraordinary organization of cells makes up your perfect human form. Your ancestors lived long, long lives because they understood the gifts of the physical body and treated it with deep respect. Maybe you have become too sedentary. Maybe you've been eating too many empty foods. It is time to shift these habits. Foods harvested and eaten directly from Mother Earth's body are highly beneficial to your body's well-being. Honor its need for pure, whole, natural foods. Honor its need to move and stretch. Your body has a dynamic essence that dances in rhythm with all creation. Learn to dance with it. Appreciate your body's ability to live in the present moment because your body is an eternal present state. It knows what is happening in every moment and cannot be deceived. You can trust yourself in all situations because your body signals when things have gone awry. Listen to its wisdom.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And this is where we do final comments, because we are at our time. We don't want to say goodbye, but we will say goodbye. We want to thank everyone for sharing all of their energy with us. And it's such an honor to have you on, Stephane.
Well,
Truly.
thanks to everyone listening, and thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for bringing all your expertise and knowledge and energy to the show.
My pleasure.
Truly honored. Looking forward to seeing you next time.
Yeah, exactly.
And Jen, final thoughts?
Yeah, it's so interesting in light of the transits and everything that we talked about, how important it is to really listen to your body, listen to what you need and honor it and give it the love and the care that it needs. And we have the energy for it this week. So really take that time to quiet the mind and listen to the body.
Indeed.
Self-care. Final thoughts, Stephane?
One very transformative thing for me was Vipassana, which is a meditation technique, very simple. And I just recommend anyone who wants to go to the root of anything in your life that you want to acknowledge or open your eyes to. Vipassana is a nice meditation retreat that you can try. It's 10 days silent retreat, and for me it was very transformative. So I would say it was the first big first step forward that helped me towards this journey. And like we were talking about the sessions, it's always going back to the roots. Sometimes it's even better than being too complicated and being caught up in the noise. So go look it up if you'd like. We have a center here in Montebello, Quebec. There's hundreds around the world. It's completely and only donation based once you do the 10 days. So they try to stay in its utmost purest form. So yeah, just on that note, because I think with the audience and people that will listen to this show, very spiritual and would like to hear a little bit more with the tarot cards. I mean, that's nice. I don't do a lot, but I always enjoy with the growth and self-care. It resonates with what we were talking about. So that's why I'm putting out there Vipassana. If
Awesome.
anyone wants to try it out, it's always nice.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Well, thank you all so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
We will see you all next week. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Okay. Have a great week, everyone.